Mike, we don't want to get people's hopes up or their fears up about this, but we can tell you that a dive team out here at Blanchard Park searching the Little Econ River says they have found something possibly of significance. If we take a live look back right now, the dive team has actually just gotten out of the water. What we can tell you, according to these volunteer divers who've been out here today, they found what appeared to be a plastic bag, like a garbage bag, that looked like it had been weighted down underwater with two bricks on it. Inside that bag, in kind of a muddy debris field underwater, which they couldn't see, but they brought up some of the sediment and some of the debris onto the shore. And I overheard the divers as they were picking through this, and they said, this looks like bone. It looks like it might be a finger or a toe. When we later tried to get them on record to say that, they were very much stepping back, trying to say, we need to make sure first of what this is. It could be animal. We are waiting for law enforcement to get out here. But again, they found a scene out here, and I understand you guys want to take it back for just a second? Okay, what we can also tell you in this debris field, what they found was some plastic toys, some small plastic toys, as well as some sort of shamrock, some kind of shamrock icon, like a charm or something. We know that Casey Anthony had an association with shamrock. She's got a logo of one on her car. We know that she collected different things with shamrocks. Now, we need to caution. A lot of people know that there is a lot of activity out here in Blanchard Park. A lot of people know a lot of details about this case. Could this be a hoax? We asked the divers out here, experienced divers who say they do this kind of thing all the time, body recovery as well as like wedding ring recovery, and they say that based on what they have pulled out of the water, this appears as though it has been underwater for a while. I asked them, is this a hoax? They said it does not appear to be. It does not appear to be freshly placed, but we need to caution that that is certainly among the possibilities out here. It is certainly also among the possibilities that until an anthropologist gets out here, this could have been a dog, maybe somebody laying to rest their beloved pet with some things. I'm just trying to caution because this is a developing situation, but it is one of significance because, as you know, Blanchard Park has been the focus of search crews since very early on in this case, looking for little Caylee. And most recently, we have bounty hunter Leonard Padilla. Leonard Padilla has been out here. If we take a look, we can actually see him to the left out here, kind of watching over the scene. This is a guy who came to notoriety in this case, having bonded Casey Anthony out of jail, and now is out here arranging this particular search effort. He believes that little Caylee is here in the Little Econ River somewhere around Blanchard Park. Some of his reasoning does make sense. We do know that Casey Anthony, when talking to investigators, talked extensively about Blanchard Park. We know that in her cell phone records, the day after little Caylee vanished, was last seen, Casey's cell phone pinged in this area, not necessarily Blanchard Park, but in this area, and then her cell phone went dead for 3 hours. So based on cell phone pings, they couldn't track where she was. Now, in addition, according to Leonard Padilla, and this has never been confirmed by law enforcement, I need to stress this, but according to Leonard Padilla, that Casey Anthony, while home on bond, actually told one of his associates that, oh, no, I didn't drop the child off at the babysitter. I left her with the babysitter at Blanchard Park. Leonard Padilla's theory, and I want to be responsible that this is his theory with no confirmation from law enforcement, but his theory is that Casey may have been trying to plant this seed about Blanchard Park on the off chance that her child was found out here. That is Leonard Padilla's reasoning for focusing his search over here 2 out of the last 3 days. Padilla recruited a team of divers, the Blackwater divers, out of Central Florida. They've been out here all morning. This is a group that specializes in doing this kind of a search on their hands and knees, flippers, if you will, in dark, murky water where you can't see an inch in front of your face, and you feel around. And this is what they have been doing out here all day. I've got Mr. Padilla walking up here. Leonard, you mind if we talk to you for a second here? Again, for those of you just joining us right now, we are live at Blanchard Park along the Little Econ River, where a dive team has found something that could be of significance in the case of missing Caylee. We don't know what it is. We just know that they found what appeared to be a plastic bag underwater, weighted down with bricks, along with what at first they described as bone fragments, possibly a toe or a finger. They later cautioned, said, we need to wait till an anthropologist gets out here to make sure. Joining us right now is Leonard Padilla, the bounty hunter who bounded Casey out of jail and was the one who arranged this search. What can you tell us, sir, of what you're knowing about out here?
You just said it all right there. Even more significant is that there's a couple of small toys that were in the bag. One of them is a clover type shaped item, green, and we know that Casey was big on clover shaped items and clover stuff. So at this stage of the game, I told him to shut it down and get the sheriff's office and don't go in the water again. It's something that they have to be the ones that call the shots from here on out on whatever there is.
What was your reaction when the divers started coming up with almost kind of a look of concern on their faces?
You don't want to. We came out here to find Caylee, and you don't want to find her. But that's the truth of the matter. We think we have. Yeah, after the two first fellows went down the other day, we really felt that she was there, and we came back with a Blackwater team. I mean, we don't have the people capable of looking in Blackwater. These folks are Blackwater specialists, and they're local, and they're super trained. And we pointed out an area that we had felt, based on the location of the tree and a couple of other things that we knew about, that might be a good place to start. And so they started about 20 foot upriver, and when they got to that point that we had picked, they came up with the bag, came up with the toys, came up with what they consider to be bone material. I don't know bone material from material.
And I want to take just a quick moment again to let our viewers know that what we have is found a plastic bag underwater with possible bone fragments, but we need to caution that we do not know what it is. We do not know with any kind of confirmation at all that this is connected to the Caylee disappearance, but it is certainly of significance. It's certainly something that it was worth calling law enforcement.
Yeah, it's significant enough to call law enforcement and get them out here because, God only knows what they'll tell us, but I do know, I've been around these things before. It's at this point you call law enforcement and say, hey, come take a look.
Leonard, walk us from the very beginning on why you have been so convinced that Blanchard Park is where Casey brought her daughter.
When the detectives talked to her, while she was trying to convince them that Zenaida took her away at the Sawgrass Apartments, she also mentioned that she had come out here to see that afternoon at 5 or 6, if possibly Zenaida was out here at the park, because Zenaida used to bring the girl to the swings. We also, when we got into town and bailed her out, the day after she was out, she told me that Zenaida had taken her away from her right here in front of the swings at J. Blanchard Park.
She told you that?
Yes. She also mentioned to Casey one time in a discussion with him something about the park and Zenaida. Several times, I think it was 7 or 8 times overall, she mentioned Zenaida and she mentioned the park. Well, our thinking was, if the baby was in the water on the 25th, here it is the 15th or the 16th of July. She's assuming that if the body gets found, she's got a patsy. Zenaida took her away from me at the park, and that's why you guys found her at the park. So when we found the picture of the cross on the tree,
somebody had photographed a cross hanging on the tree, which when we saw that photograph had little plastic beads on it.
And those beads are identical to what is in Casey's room. Tracy, our young lady that was with her for the 10 days, described them to a T, drew me one before I even found one. I didn't find it. Snake found it the following day, and then the following day after that he found another one at the base of the tree in the sand. So we figured, okay, line of sight from the tree. If she parked here, the place where the buoy is exactly where a person, her height, standing behind that tree where the beads are. I mean, it's all conjecture. It's all jumping to conclusions, but that's where we're at.
Well, did they find beads out in this dive site?
I don't know. At the point where somebody said it was bone fragments, and I asked them if they were sure, I says, okay, seal it. We got to call law enforcement. We don't want to let them come out here and go further.
And again, for those joining us once again, we want to point out that a volunteer dive team out here, correct. But having done professional dive work in the past, is found what appears to be a plastic bag that had been underwater, weighted down by bricks, with some bone fragments in it, what they think could be bone fragments. We need to caution that because it hasn't been analyzed yet, along with some plastic toys. And you were also mentioning something about like a shamrock icon, like a charm.
Yeah, it's like a charm or something that looks like a green shamrock. And what leads us to believe that it has something to do with this is that Casey is big on shamrocks. Casey's got a green tattoo on her.